Hello, welcome to our channel, White Lake Technologies. Today we'll be looking at basic configurations for Cisco switch SG300. The first thing we're going to do is to access the software PuTTY, and then I click on the software PuTTY, and then we'll select the connection type serial. So to know the port or the serial line we're going to use, we're going to go to device manager and then check on that port for the serial line we're going to use. So I'll click on port, and then what we have there is COM4. So we'll go back to PuTTY and insert COM4 and then open the connection. That's what we have there. A connection has been created. I'll type enter twice and then type the username Cisco and the password Cisco. Those are the default username and password. So we are in the switch now. We can check the configuration we have currently there by typing show running config command. So these are the configurations we have currently on the device. You can tap space to see the rest of the configurations. So we need to now delete the configuration we have there and then restart the machine. So we do that by typing delete startup configuration, and then we select yes. So the next thing we need to do is to reload. So type reload to restart the machine from the default setting it has. So enter yes and then press yes again, and then it shuts down the machine and restarts it. This may take a few minutes, so speed up the video to bypass some of these processes that might take too long. At some point in time, you will need to be pressing the key enter so that it gets to the next stage. Press enter twice, and then we are back to the username. We entered Cisco, and Cisco has the default password. So it will ask you to change the password. You can type no to continue. So currently our device is now reset. So we can look at the configuration that is currently there. So these are the default configuration we have there. So the first thing we're going to do is to give it a host name. So first thing we need to do is to go to config terminal. That's the configuration mode, and then we type host name. So we're going to call it switch 1. The host name has been set. So the next thing we are going to do is create the banner. I type in the command banner login and then a special character at the end to signify the beginning of the banner message. We're going to use ampersand here. So we're expected to write the banner message now. And then once we are done writing the banner message, we're going to enter ampersand as the last character to signify the end of the banner message. So now we can check the configurations we currently have there, and we do that using do show running config. The next thing we are going to do is create the username and the password of the device. We'll type username, then specify the username we want to use. I'm going to call it my username. And then the next thing, we'll specify the privilege, and we're going to use privilege 15, which is the highest privilege for the device. Then followed by the password, and then we specify the password that we're going to use. So I'm going to use password _1234. So the next thing I'll do is to exit and then save the settings I have currently on the device. So I type the command exit and then type the command write and then save the startup configuration, and that is successfully done. And I can exit the device so that I log in with my new username and password. So I'll press enter and type my username followed by the password _1234, and then we have access to the device using the new logins we created. The next thing we're going to do is to create the management IP address. We do that by going to the global configuration mode, and then we'll go to the VLAN 1 interface, which is the default VLAN, by the way. So that is where we are going to create our management IP address. So it's going to be IP address, and I'll give it 192.168.0.1, and then we'll provide the subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.0, and then you enter. So you press yes. We are going to create the default gateway as the IP address for the default gateway, which is going to be IP default gateway 192.168.0. I'm going to use .254. So the next thing we're going to do is to create the enable password, but first of all we will exit Once we exit, we go back to the global configuration mode and then type enable password and then enable password as the password. But what we have there is too simple. We're supposed to provide at least 3 character classes. So we're going to use enable password underscore 1 2 3 4, and so by that enable password has been set. So the next thing we're going to do is to create telnet server, which is using the command IP telnet server and then line telnet. We are going to enter the telnet line. So under the telnet line, we're going to create a password that we use to access the device using telnet, which is password telnet underscore 1 2 3 4. And then to finish the settings, we use login authentication default. And with that, the password has been set. So the next thing we're going to do is to look at the settings for SSH. That's another remote access to our device, but this is more secure compared to telnet. So it's the same thing, IP SSH server. Then we go into the telnet line, the SSH line SSH, and then we create a password. Next we enter password SSH underscore 1 2 3 4 as our SSH password. So the next thing is to enter login authentication default to finish up the settings for SSH. And with that, we've done SSH settings for remote access. So exit this mode and then go to configure our console line. So we enter the password also. We'll enter password console underscore 1 2 3 as the password, and then login authentication default, just like we did with telnet and SSH. These are line settings, by the way. Now we are going to type end to go back to the very beginning, and then we are going to write all the settings we've done so far and then confirm it, and it is saved. So these are the settings for our Cisco device. So we're going to exit the Cisco device and then start all over again, and then view all the settings we have on the device. So we are going to enter the username and the password we created to log in to the device. And then we're going to look at the configurations we have on the device by doing show running config. So these are the basic settings that we've done so far. You can take a look at it. You can see the rest of the settings by pressing the space bar until you get to the last setting. So these are currently what we have on the device, the settings that we have, and this is the banner login that we created initially. This is the default gateway. And with that, we come to the end of these basic configurations for our Cisco device SG300. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel. More videos are coming on this, so watch out this space. Thank you.